things out. So I have a couple of questions. Do you ever need to clean your printer?
Yes.
Yes, I heard it. Okay,
There should
for
be,
a neophyte, what do you do?
there should be settings in your printer program.
You say on my printer program, do you mean on my computer?
Yeah. You have an HP printer?
Negative? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's an HP Envy.
Okay. Somewhere on there, you should have a folder for your printer.
Yeah, well, when I go to my iMac here, Chuck, yeah,
Oh,
I've
okay.
got settings
That's
there and it
even
has
better. Wait a minute.
printer.
When you go to print something, on the bottom, on your bottom menu bar, there's an icon that comes up for your printer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Correct.
Double click on that while it's still there. And a window will come up. And in that window, you'll see something called settings. And in settings, there should be a button to clean the printer.
If you want to screen share your desktop, Rob, we could look at it.
All right, I'm not sure. I need to take everybody's time, Lynn, on that.
Yeah.
I'd find it helpful. Go for it.
Yeah,
All right,
do it.
screen share, do I open that, Lynn, on
Yep.
my dock?
Yep.
All right, desktop, share.
Cool.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Well,
So do you want to try printing something?
Sure.
Print that page.
All right, let's go to, I'm trying to think of, all right, I'm opening something here. I'm going over to file. I'm hitting print.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, and everybody can see the same thing I can, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Well, I'm only gonna print one page of this. All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm ready to hit print.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Correct.
All right, I'm hitting print. Now I see down on my dock exactly
There
what
it
Chuck
is.
was trying to tell me to do.
Right. Double click that.
Double click on the printer. Before it goes away.
I double clicked.
There it is.
Somebody said, what about going away?
Yeah, well, yeah, click on it before it goes away.
Well, it's still on my dock.
Okay,
And rightly or wrongly, my printer is printing out my, document, the one page here.
Cool.
I have it. Thanks a bunch. Now, let's go, on the settings. Ready? This is
Yep.
what Chuck was telling me about.
Yep.
General, supply levels, utility,
it's probably under utility.
Open printer utility, click on that maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How about over here on the top where it says clean print heads?
There you go.
Well done.
Wow.
Wow. Well, all right. I don't think I need to do this now.
Click on it once.
All right, click on it once and see
I
what.
want to see what it says for you for that printer.
Clean the print heads. If your printer is streaked, well, I don't, it
Yeah,
doesn't need to be cleaned. All right. I'm just looking at what I printed out here and it looks pretty good.
Good.
All right.
if it's printing well, you don't have to do that, but there are times when you'll start to see those lines and things across the image like they show in that circle.
Yes,
And that's when you really definitely need to clean it.
okay.
Oh,
See, somehow I thought Chuck, that was telling me, hey, Rob, your printer cartridge is running out of ink. You better install a new one, but I guess not.
yeah, that's what I
I'm telling
thought.
you, you need black up here at the top.
Try that again.
In the gray bar at the top, it's telling you your black cartridge is low.
Okay, well, that I know. I've got two literally at my fingertips here.
Okay, good.
Good.
But that's how you clean your print heads.
Cool.
There should be another option if you go on the touch screen of the printer itself too. It should be similar to what this is, the same kind of process under settings. But this is another easy way. So,
This is easier to read because it's larger.
yep.
Okay. Here's a follow-up question, and it's about the life of one's printer here. Any idea? I mean, this one is about 4 years old. Any idea about their life cycle?
How much?
Okay. You've got one for like 20 years, don't you?
I have a laser that's probably 25 or 30 years old that HP is not even supporting anymore with drivers or anything, but it's still printing.
Good.
And I can still buy cartridges for it. So as long as that's the case, I'm not going to go get a new one.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. I think the printer will outlive me. That's good.
Yes, different printers, you'd have different lifespans. And, if you have a cheap printer, it's probably gonna misbehave more often. It
Mhm.
might still work. It's just, stubborn.
I have two inkjets that are probably a good 4 or 5 years old also. Both are wireless and they seem to be behaving pretty well. So,
Mhm.
I don't put a lot of money into printers because they are relatively inexpensive anymore. And the cheap ones, which is one of the ones I have, I think I paid $49 for it. It's an HP, but it prints just fine and it works real well.
I still have a printer that I got when I went to college 15 years ago. And that the Wi-Fi doesn't work, but it still prints if it's connected with USB.
Yeah.
So I think you're set for a while.
I think I am too. Okay, I'm gonna close out this, Lynn.
Sounds good. Thanks for screen sharing so we could see.
At the cost of ink, it's sometimes cheaper just to buy a new printer.
Well, you're right there.
Yeah,
Or not print at all.
Whoa.
Well, since you're talking about that, may I ask a question about the
Of
printers?
course.
My husband, we were looking for a new printer, and in reading the reviews on Consumer Reports and all those different sites, it doesn't seem as you can get everything he wants. So for example, he wants to be able to print photographs.
Mhm.
So he was asking, and now I have people that know, is it better to buy the printer that we want to be the printer, but then get something else for photographs? Or, because mostly when you read the reviews, it's either really good, it's good at one thing and not good on the other. So
Yeah.
anyone have an opinion?
Are you wanting to print pictures on like glossy paper or like just regular,
I think he means, flat pictures. He's involved in an organization that he takes a lot of pictures and he wants to distribute. And, all I want to do is be able to print in color.
Right. Right.
So he wants more techno stuff. So should he get his own little photo thing or just look for a computer that says everything is good?
Right. It's going to be hard to get one or the other. The challenge with photo paper, the glossier and the matte
Mhm.
paper, is it's harder to feed through the printer. So it usually gets stuck.
Ah,
Which is why they make specialty ones
Yeah.
for that kind of paper. So, and usually you're wanting 5x7 or 4x6
Mhm.
size paper, where, if you get ones designed to print that size, you don't have to cut them out, say. But then you
Right.
couldn't print, say, on an 8.5x11 or 11x17. So there are pros and cons,
Yeah.
to both, um, for that reason.
Mhm.
So if you can find one that's more designed for photo paper,
Mhm.
it would make sense to get that if it can fit the 8.5x11.
Okay.
And then maybe you can change the dimensions down to the 4.5 or 4x6 or 5x7.
Uh-huh.
So it's easier for him.
Right.
But yeah, it really depends.
Yeah.
And probably the photo design printers won't have the scanning
Mhm.
features and things, which if that's
Which is
something
back
you
to the thing,
want,
yeah.
right?
Just
So
some-
it's like, what are you going to be using it for?
Right.
If he's using it for business or nonprofit, maybe
Yeah.
he can write that off in a
Yeah.
way that a home printer wouldn't be able to write off.
Yeah. And they're not fancy photos. You just, wanted,
Mhm.
I want to give this picture to someone. So
Right.
thank you. Thank you.
Right. And I tend to just, the few times I do print, I just tend to print on like regular printer paper because
Uh-huh.
it's not worth trying to feed it through
Yes,
the
yes.
glossy. And if I want glossy, I'll go to CVS or do it online for 99 cents because they're
Right.
going to print it nicer
Yes.
than my printer at home.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So if you're wanting cost, but then how many are you printing? If you're printing hundreds of photos,
Yeah.
cost wise to go to CVS, Walmart,
Yeah.
Kmart, or
Right.
Shutterfly, it's a challenge.
Okay. Well, no, those are
So I
good.
guess the challenge is trying to find that balance,
Yes.
and only you guys could figure that
Yes.
out.
Well, thank you. I will give him this information so he can discern. Thanks.
It's a hard balance. It's
Yeah.
not easy. I
Well,
don't know if
no,
anybody else has opinions, but
we're so
Hey,
used to.
I pretty much do the same thing. We do a Christmas newsletter and there's usually half a dozen to a dozen photos on it. And it's printed two sides, not that the printer does it, I have to turn it over. But we do that just on the print or the photo quality cycle in the printer. And it comes out pretty good. But if we're going on a trip and we've taken a bunch of photos, my wife usually sends them to someplace like Snapfish or Walmart or one of those kind of places to get decent quality, glossy photographs. We don't bother trying to print. I have some small photo quality paper here, but I rarely use it because we usually have more than I want to try to print.
Mhm.
It's going to kill a cartridge.
Yeah.
So those we send off to Snapfish because they usually have deals where they're really cheap if you
Mhm.
wait long enough.
Yeah.
Or
another
Shutterfly.
price comparison thing you should factor in when trying to do the math and things for this. You're going to be using a lot of ink
Mhm.
on these. So the price of ink and photo paper compared to regular printer paper as
Right.
well. So the math of, what's,
Yes.
if
Things
Snapfish
you
is
didn't think
99
of.
cents
Yeah.
and you're spending $1.25 on ink and paper.
Yes.
And sometimes it's, can you get the cartridges too? I mean, I've gone to some places where I normally get them and they're empty. Supply
Yeah.
chain issues. So right now, that's a different question. Usually Amazon is good for cartridges.
Yes.
They're usually in stock. I frequently get stuff at Walmart for cartridges because their prices are reasonable compared
Yes.
to others. But
There's
it's
also a
available.
website, inkjet, ink something, where it's refillable. So you can send back old ones. So it's
Mhm.
a recycle. If you're worried about
Right.
recycling ink, it's a good one. I'm blanking on I have it somewhere in my
That's
file.
okay. I know that as I was looking to look at the new printers, HP in particular, they now make them that they don't accept any brand other than HP in them. So, you know,
Of
it's not.
And sometimes they don't even accept HP because I put an HP cartridge in my printer and I got a message on my screen that says, this is not a compatible cartridge. And it was the correct number.
Yes, it was.
So, you know, it doesn't always work. So I took it back and they exchanged it. They gave me another one and it worked, but
Huh.
you know, you always run into
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Always frustrating.
Yeah. There's always something is the point.
Yes.
Printers are evil. Computers can be challenging, but I find printers 10 times worse.
Mine are working. I'm not complaining right now.
Good,
Yes.
good. Glad to hear that.
I have the Hallmark card app, and I had it, I think the last one I had was 2017. So I thought, okay, I'm going to upgrade to the next one. And I'm going to put that one on my laptop and leave the old one on my other computer. Okay, great. Well, it's really kind of funny because like when I click on the new photos, new for 2022, there's one, you know, it's like, I mean, of cards, but anyway, all right, so fine, I can still use that. But when I print from my laptop to the printer and it's two-sided, it only prints one side and then the computer dies. And maybe, I mean, the printer stops and maybe a week later, it'll come out with the rest of it. And no matter how long I wait, I can't do. So my only thing is if I have to find a card on my laptop, then I have to email it to my computer and then my desktop and then print it from that one and it works fine. So go figure, I don't know. I mean, I gave up trying to figure out how to make it work, so. Just.
Nancy, I figured out long ago that it's easier to print one side of the paper, turn the paper over in your paper supply, and then print the other side.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I
Yeah.
do. And then you hit the print now, or you hit continue, and it doesn't continue. And actually, the one after I emailed it over there, I thought, okay, now is it going to just print the second side? That's good. So I put the paper in, you know, right side up, so it's going to print on the other side of the one that I did get. And no, it printed the first page again. So
Well, I only print one page at a time.
I do too.
Well,
I do too.
but what I mean is I'll print page one, turn it over, put it back in, and then I'll go in and say print page two.
Yep.
And that usually works for me. Even though one of my printers does print two sides of the paper, I don't even play with that because
No.
when I originally tried to make it work, it didn't want to. Like Lynn
Yeah.
says, printers are evil, and it was being evil, and I just stopped trying to make it work that way. I'll just print one side at a time.
That's
When
what
I
I
do
do
a
too.
Christmas newsletter, I print 46 copies of the front side, and then I go in and print 46 copies of the other side.
Right. Unfortunately, the card program has its own sending to the printer. I can't just say print this. You know, I have to follow their protocol and then,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
print this side, and then it comes up and says, you know, it shows you how to put it back in the printer. And then it says print now again. You can't just
Too
say,
bad.
which, you know, it really bugs me because I mean, I paid for the new one and yet the old one's better. So.
Yes.
That's
Just go to
frequently
see,
the case.
go to the drugstore and buy a card. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Dollar store, they're cheaper there.
Well, actually, I do
Yes.
I do it the 4x, you know, the little one, so it prints
Yes.
only on one side and that works fine.
Yeah.
Roll
But,
it.
but for all the frustration, you know,
I know.
is it worth this mental anguish?
No, it's not.
And it's probably more expensive to print it than to go
You know?
to the dollar store and pay 50 cents. You know?
Exactly.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
But during the pandemic, it was great because I
Yes,
used to
yes.
do that.
Yeah.
Well, I did a rite of exorcism on my printer and it works just fine.
Do you want to ask what that is?
I wish
you
you'd
have
have
a
done it on
priest?
our tech time so we could have watched it.
Yes, yes.
Do you want to do one for everyone's printer, Bob?
It does not work by remote.
Oh,
Miss Renee, Bob is a retired pastor.
okay. So he is who we want to hire then, if we need an exorcism of any kind. We're the house sage of evil spirits.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh my. I apologize for being late, Lynn.
No worries.
Bill and I are quarantined and I just totally forgot that it was Thursday morning until 10:30.
Are you sick too?
No. We visited my sister-in-law on Sunday because we hadn't seen my brother and sister-in-law for about 10 days. They live here at Maris Grove. And so we went over to Vernon Woods and visited them with a half hour or so. And we got back around 4:30 or so. And that night, Dick wrote and said that Chris went to bed early because she wasn't feeling well. And they had called down to the medical center and they just said, stay in, both of them. And they were supposed to come on Tuesday morning to do a COVID test and they didn't show up until Wednesday morning or Wednesday at noon anyway. So we got a call last night that we're quarantined, quote unquote, until the 29th, which is tomorrow. And then they'll retest us. But I just got an email from my sister who lives across the hall saying, I can't get your mail today because her husband woke up not feeling well. So now they're stuck in their apartment until somebody comes up. But there were 71 people quarantined at Maris Grove last week. And I think they were down to 31. God only knows how many are there now from contact tracing.
We won't see you tonight.
So you will not see us tonight. And I wrote to Ed and told him that. And they won't see us at Chorus tomorrow here. And we're missing a great lecture this afternoon. Bob, if you guys don't have tickets for that, come by and get ours.
He's quarantining.
He's
too.
quarantined.
Oh, you're quarantined too?
Stay away from Maris Grove and
Not the
and
truth.
square dancing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was square dancing and blanket circle were the two big.
Blanket circle? That sounds interesting.
They crochet around the edges of flannel to make blankets for kids in hospitals and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah, they've done
nice.
hundreds of thousands since Maris Grove opened.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, my friend Janet John got caught up in that.
Oh, I
Blanket
know she
circle group.
did. She's right down the hall from my brother and I said, call Janet and have her pick up your mail. She's quarantined too. Oh, well.
Oh my.
Yeah, I was down at the shopping center
Fortunately-
beside Maris Grove yesterday. I hope I didn't catch anything.
Yeah, well, fortunately,
Close.
my sister-in-law, who's 86, is not and has lung issues, is not terribly sick, but she's had
Good.
4 vaccines for Pete's sake.
Good. Good,
Mm.
good, good.
You
Yeah.
feeling okay, Renee?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Good.
I'm in Malvern. We have a bubble of safety right here.
However, on my screen, you are right in the center and all of us are surrounding you.
Yes. Quick, let me go get the Lysol and my
That
mask.
blanket circle, Bob?
Yeah.
Only Bob Bell would come up with that. Ask the woman in the middle of the screen if she's feeling okay, because she's surrounded by quarantined people.
Yeah.
But you can move the little squares if you want. You know that?
I didn't
can-
know
you can
that.
click
Know
it.
that.
You can click and drag. You can't do it if somebody's talking, but just take a square, click and drag
Oh,
it.
wow.
To make
Sure
them
enough,
out,
I didn't know that.
you could make them alphabetical or.
Yes, smart, Renee.
Yeah.
Bob, you taught me something new today.
Yeah.
Did you try it, Lynn?
Yes.
I
And it
did,
says I
it
can
worked.
release the video order over on the side, so. Yeah, that might mean that you can see what I see.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Well, otherwise we ordinarily come up like you're in the upper left-hand corner and then each of us, like I'm next to you, but probably to somebody else, someone else is next to you, right?
Yes, it's always the second box is you, whoever you are. But the other order is who comes in the meeting first. So that's the typical order. So, yes. Any other questions or?
I just moved Renee on my screen, so she's no longer in the center. That's to protect you.
Did you
Thank
put
you.
the quarantine people next to each other so they don't infect anyone else?
Yeah, put the quarantine
thank
people
you.
over on the right side.
Yes, yes. Thank you for taking care of me.
Okay, I just did it.
Bob and I are next to each other. So, on my screen.
Mm.
Yeah. But. Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
know.
Renee, you'll find that the quality of this tech time diminishes if we don't have too much to talk about.
Well, I,
Speaking
go
of
ahead.
which, how is Dan? Is it because of his ulcer again that he's in the hospital?
And Anne got interrupted when she was telling me the story. It sounded like his body temperature went down drastically, so they were trying to warm him up. And I think it's side effects of his MS and ulcer. But Patty's trying to figure out next steps. It sounds like they're trying to get more at home care or maybe move him to a different facility or something.
Hmm.
So, but I haven't heard that he's been released from the hospital yet. So he went Monday. So I think I only got a little bit of detail from Anne. I don't know if I got the full story. But I've been meaning to call Patty and just
Well, thanks for keeping us updated.
yeah. Yeah. Poor guy. Not easy. MS is a nasty disease.
Old age is a nasty disease.
Yeah. But
Although nobody ever died from old age.
Oh, yeah. That's what my mother's, what do you call it? Reason for dying was, they just said, yeah, they said, she was, and actually she wasn't that old. She was 88, but there wasn't any one thing. So they just said old age or something.
yeah. But yeah. Any other concerns, medical issues, or tech issues?
Get more and more of those at these meetings here, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Dr. Lynn,
I've got my own issues. So stay away from me too.
Hmm.
Yeah, we need some more of those holy humor jokes, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh,
You did a
yeah.
good job this past week.
Oh, that was so good.
thank you for your help
Yep,
on the screen
yep.
with the banner.
That was great on Sunday, Bob.
Oh, that was.
Hilarious. Oh,
Don knew I was going to interrupt him, but he had no idea what I was going to do. That's why I asked, are you nervous yet?
yeah, right. He did. And he turned red too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And it's probably, he might not have been thinking what you were thinking either. I don't know what he thought might come out.
He had no idea.
Well, I thought, somebody said that Anne didn't feel like she wanted to do jokes or something. Well, hers was amazing, the one about the hostage situation. Yes. Being like,
Anne
what,
was more nervous about coming up with a joke. She doesn't have the quick
Oh.
responses where like Bob has very good like timely like
yeah.
in the moment things. It
Okay.
takes Anne more time and planning.
Well, her delivery was great.
She did fine.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was, oh, but and Bob, when you went and sat down with the kids on the steps, that was hilarious too.
We are all children of God.
Right,
amen,
Yeah.
sister. Amen.
yeah, right. It was.
But-
Was there any backlash at all that anybody thought they shouldn't do that? Because the church isn't funny or something? No,
Over the years, there's some people, it's not their favorite thing or
I have a story about that, Nancy. Bill and I was leading a tour of our church in California in Israel, and we were in Bethlehem at the big church where they say that underneath the church was the vault where Jesus was born, the little thing. And so there's a nice long line waiting to get in. and somebody in our group said something funny and our female pastor laughed out loud. Whereupon the Orthodox priest came all the way across, and it's a very, very large church, ran across the church and said, "You must not laugh in church." At which point Beth is going, "Oh my goodness."
It was in Bethlehem.
I said it was in Bethlehem, Bill. So, geez, Bill's correcting me. It was in Bethlehem. And anyway, he threatened, he said, "I'm going to kick you all out." And whereupon our tour guide talked to him and they did allow us to proceed, but it was not a pleasant experience.
Well, it isn't. It's an Orthodox tradition.
Well, that's the funny thing, is that on our thing
Yeah.
yet on Sunday, it said it started with the Orthodox. So
Yeah.
why this man was
Way
so,
back, way back.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, he didn't know his theology.
Well, if you can't laugh in church, where
Mhm.
else should you laugh? You know?
Exactly.
Right.
We have some pictures in the nursery that are pictures of Jesus with children and he's laughing, you know, big smiles. So where else should you do? But laughing.
Exactly. Yes. Be yourself too.
Yes,
feel like-
that's right.
If you can't be yourself in church,
Yeah.
where else?
Yes.
But yeah.
Well, now that we've solved that theology question,
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys don't have any other issues. I'm so proud. Yes, Ms. Renee.
I'm still waiting for you to figure out how to get my pictures into my computer.
Oh, we never looked at that.
Well, good, because I wasn't here the first half hour.
So- Well, do her picture thing.
It might be a rabbit hole we might want to do
Right.
first.
Right.
Oh,
You may want to
Okay.
actually do it with me at some point and then explain to everybody what you did.
did. Okay, well, maybe mine is quick. It is my phone. I have a iPhone 6.
Mhm.
And you know, when you're out and you want to, you know, find a restaurant or order food or whatever, lately, I never used to have trouble, but now when I type something in, it says Safari cannot open. And I thought maybe in settings, I've done something, maybe I accidentally hit
Mm.
something that I don't know I did. So,
Did you turn off location sharing? Maybe if you turned off location sharing, if you're searching for restaurants near me,
uh-huh,
I don't know, that's a theory.
yeah.
Um,
I don't have one of those. I've got,
How do you search restaurants? Do you just say,
oh, I would just type in, you know, pizza, let's think of a name of a pizza, Benny's Pizza.
yeah,
And it comes up saying, really anywhere I'm looking, it will say, oh, Safari can't open. I know I was looking yesterday, I was out and I was looking to see if a particular library was open. I was in Broomall and it said, Safari can't open.
Huh.
So I just was wondering if I show you my settings,
yeah.
maybe you can tell me,
You have the most recent update?
those things that come in the night.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Those things are coming tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. And did you try restarting the phone
Afterwards?
or whenever you started having trouble?
Oh, no, I did not.
That's
What does
always
one
a
do?
good default first
Right.
step.
Similar to the
Computer,
computer.
iPhone,
Yeah.
right.
I don't know how to do that on a phone.
Oh, you've never restarted your phone?
No, I haven't.
No worries. Okay, so I'm trying to remember, do you have the
How to
home,
restart your-
you have the home button on your phone?
A home button.
The circle at the bottom of your screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I think it's if you hold the side left tab. I'm trying to remember, it's been,
Yeah.
I've got a 13.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
You
this is-
hold the side tab and
Okay.
the home button down together. Let me
Oh.
Google this and just make.
And it says
sure.
slide to power off.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, and that will shut it down. And when it goes completely black, you just hold the left one again and it will
Again.
turn it on.
Okay, so that's as similar as when, laptop, you
Yeah.
just close down.
Yep.
Why, thank you. See, that was easy.
Well,
for
let's
you to
just make
explain.
sure that works.
Okay.
Let's test it and see if
Uh-huh.
that defaults it. If not,
Well,
we
it's still
check your-
sliding to power off. So, and now it says your password is required to enable Touch ID.
Ah. Do you not have Touch ID?
That's your thumb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But it does usually ask me to enter my passcode. So
Oh,
I do
interesting.
that.
That's good. Double protected.
Okay. Alrighty, I'll go driving today and see if I can find some dinner.
I wonder is it just when you're out of your house? Is it
Yes.
so
Yes,
I wonder if it's Wi-Fi. It's trying to connect to Wi-Fi and there's no
Uh-huh.
Wi-Fi connected. So you need to have cellular connected.
Cellular.
Does that make sense? Like for some
Well,
reason,
Well, yes, it does, but okay, cellular is right here on my phone and it says nothing next to it. So,
let me see if I can plug in my phone and you can see what I see. Hopefully this,
well, in my house, it says my Wi-Fi password. And then it says Bluetooth on, whatever that is. Then cellular. Oh,
so if
hello.
you're in the cellular tab here, is this what you see?
I just see the word cellular. I don't see cellular data.
Oh, interesting. Is it on or off?
It doesn't tell me anything. Well, it looks like
Do you
it's
have the
on.
green?
It's green on the second page.
So you've got something like this? Maybe in your settings?
Uh,
Maybe?
cellular dating options. It says roaming on.
Yep.
Okay. And then it says Verizon Wi-Fi calling, and that is off.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have different words than you. I mean, different things. on my
Interesting.
thing.
Renee,
See if there's some-
keep scrolling down, and do you have a section then that says current period roaming? And under that Safari, is it green?
Sorry.
Because you might have Safari turned off, that you only want to run
Oh.
it when it's on Wi-Fi.
Do you see all the apps?
I see the Safari.
Is it
and
green?
Yeah, it says search engine suggestion screen, Safari suggestion screen, quick website search on.
So all of it is on?
Yeah,
But maybe it works now that you rebooted.
that's true. I guess I'll have to drive around and see.
I'd
If
be
I'm out
curious.
and I can't order dinner, I'm
What I might also do is add a second browser to
Uh-huh.
your phone, like Google or
Uh-huh.
DuckDuckGo. So you have a backup.
I see.
Um,
Okay.
If one's not working, the other should work.
Oh, okay, because I have the Google Chrome at home on the laptop.
Mhm. There's a
So,
Google app if you
okay,
go to Google and then you can just search in Google.
okay.
And I don't know if you guys use the apps Yelp or Foursquare. They are apps that I tend to use when on vacation. They
Mhm.
are apps that focus on restaurants and people will rate them and leave
Right.
comments. So they are designed for users to review.
When you're wherever you
restaurants.
are, yes. Yes, I
So-
have seen the Yelp things, but whether I found, not even when I'm even looking for that, it will just come up.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right,
So, and I like to use Foursquare, and create a list of like,
Uh-huh,
on a trip, I go to, Florida or wherever,
yeah,
and you can create a like list. These are the restaurants I went to. So if you had a
Uh-huh.
friend that went, oh, you went to, Charlotte
Yes.
or wherever, and you can be like, oh, this restaurant was really good.
oh, okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll take myself out to lunch and drive around and see if I can order any.
Yeah.
Where you're
Good
going,
idea.
we'll meet you.
Yeah, yes, we'll continue.
I'll
We'll still
drive
try to-
around with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
The
Half an
Ariana's, I'll
hour.
go to Ariana's.
yeah,
Well,
Um,
thank you, Miss Lynn.
yep. I'm guessing none of you use DoorDash or anything like that for delivery service food.
No,
No. It's if you want to order food to your house, it was one of those apps that people all use during the pandemic.
yes.
But that's another place you could search restaurants and things. Might not
okay.
need to order,
Yeah,
but it would have the menu listed and you could search through all of the pricing and all of that.
I see. Well, I am semi-familiar. My son had a broken foot and used DoorDash so,
Mhm.
to get fed. So,
Yeah, there's and there's Slice, which is an app that focuses only on pizza
oh,
restaurants.
wow.
Um,
The things
wrong
that
with that?
if we just given a little thought, we could have invented.
Right.
Millionaires.
right.
Pizza. Yes.
And
I love
Grubhub
pizza.
is another delivery service
Oh, I've
app.
heard of that. I've heard of that. Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Well, I
But-
have learned a lot. I'm going to run. I'm going to run up and push these buttons on the printer I have to see if maybe I don't need a printer.
Yeah. I only use our church printer because I don't print enough.
No. I just want to know it's there because I'm no longer working outside of the house. Sometimes you just want to print something.
Right. Or there's a medical form that you need to fill out.
Yes. Oh,
right?
yes. Yes. That's always fun.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
Doodles.
See you next week.
Yes. Yeah, I know we're over 11, so if you guys have to peek out, feel free.
Then if you could hang on a minute, I have
Of
a
course.
notation for you.
A notation? I'm scared.
Yeah,
Don't be-
Bye.
No.
I'd worry about that.
Yeah.
Nancy, did you have a question too?
Oh, I'm saying goodbye. I wanna hear what Bob says.
Goodbye, guys. I'll see
Thank
you guys
you.
next week.
Yeah.
maybe.
Bye. Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Okay. So what can I do for you?
No, are you doing Bob Pool's service this afternoon?
Yes. Yeah.
Be on the lookout. I don't know whether they'll come up or not. John Morgan and is it Ellen?
Yes.
I think I told you that he's a nephew of
Oh,
Bob's. Ellen is is a niece of Bob Pool's. Ellen's father and Bob Pool's were brothers.
okay.
So they're in Williamsburg. I don't know whether they'll come up or not, but I thought I'll just a heads
Yeah,
up.
they
that-
might be live streaming too. It's a
Possible.
possibility. I'll keep my eyes out. It's been so long since I've seen them in person. I hope I recognize them.
I'll be there. I'll point them out.
Sounds good. I'll be in my closet for most of the service.
Well, I'll text you and say they're here.
Yes, awkwardly send a photo.
Okay, that was all. And I really thank you for doing the banner on Sunday. It's
Of
perfect.
course. It worked. The
And
timing of
the
it
timing
worked
was
well.
good. Yeah.
The
Thanks.
volunteers did good. I was proud of them.
Okay, maybe see you.
Although-
this af-
When we did the run through, the volunteer clicked on it. I'm like, oh no, I hope I hope the button's not on the camera. But thankfully it wasn't, but it scared me for a second.
No, Don was really thrown.
Yes, yes.
He said, I wouldn't in 1,000 years thought anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't think that was where you were going with it. So you did good.
Well, you had the script, so you knew.
Well, I didn't read the script.
Well, yeah. Okay, maybe see you this afternoon.
I will probably see you this afternoon, but
Okay, bye. Thank you.
yep. Talk to you later. Bye.